Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Thriving Adoptees podcast. So it's just me again today. And I was thinking about what I was going to share with you today. And this is prompted by a few things that have been going on in the last few days. And I was thinking about numbing, right? Numbing our painful feelings. And this was actually prompted by seeing a dad and his kid in the swimming pool yesterday, and she fell over in the not in the pool itself. She fell over and started crying, and obviously a dad. She's about 2, perhaps, this little girl, year and a half, 1, 2, something like that. Not sure. And so the dad went over to asked her if is she okay, and started soothing her. And something popped into my head later yesterday about me and my first experience, my first memory of being really upset, and it was when my granddad died, when we called him Pop. My dad's dad died. And all I can really remember about this was lying on the bed with my teddy bear, right? And confiding in my teddy bear, passing the bad news on to my teddy bear, and crying the fact that I wasn't going to see my Pop again. I was about 7 or so. And it got me thinking about, we don't try and talk people out of grief, do we? We just let them be in it, and we hug them, and we show them that we're there for them. We don't try and talk them out of grief, but most other what people would call negative emotions, we try and talk people out of that. And trying to assure them it's okay. So I'm thinking about, when you lose you lose a girlfriend, when you're a boyfriend, when you're a kid, and somebody says, "Oh, there's plenty more fish in the sea," or are we in denial? Are we in denial of our feelings? We're trying to make the other person feel better, but has ever a comment like that actually made people feel better? So if we're angry, say, or frustrated, some traffic jam, something like that, we say we can see this happening for somebody else, and we say, why are you getting so mad about this? And they say, no, I'm not getting mad about this. And it's like, you clearly are. And it works exactly the same on us as well, doesn't it? We're in denial of we deny what we believe to be negative emotions. So I remember being said, somebody told me, well, your problem, Simon, is you're just insecure. Oh, no, I'm not. It's like, it's the kind of the ego rises up, and that thing called emotophobia. No, there's nothing wrong with me. What's wrong with me? And what are we doing internally on that? What have I done internally on that? There's some stuff coming up at the moment, right? There's some I saw something from a fellow adoptee called Peggy Arvidsson. She commented on something I put on Facebook, and she said, "Oh, look at me learning to feel!" Exclamation mark! And I thought, yeah, she's proud of, she's been numbing her stuff, as we all have. We've been shoving it down. We've been trying to exclude. I think it's called exile. We try to exclude what there's a guy called Richard Schwartz. Dick Schwartz is the inventor of internal family systems, and his book's called No Bad Parts, right? But nothing. But this is what I'm listening to that at the moment. I've finished listening to it, and there's that part of me that's angry, and there's that, so it's locked in time. The idea is basically that this part of us is locked in time, and at a certain time, and we're trying to exile it. We're trying to push it away. We're trying to numb it. We're trying to exclude it from who we are. And I was thinking, what that, what do I remember about anger? What do I remember, my first memory of anger? And I remember we'd been on a school trip. I'd lost my rucksack. I was late on the coach getting back because I'd been looking for my rucksack, and some kid sneered at me. Another kid called Simon, you might have heard the story before, sneered at me and said, "Ha ha ha, you've lost your rucksack," or words to that effect. And I just snapped and punched him. I was 10, I think. 10, maybe 11. And I think some part of us, one of the reasons that we numb, or one of the reasons that I've maybe numbed my anger, is because I've seen what that can cause me to do. Right? And I've seen its impact on other people, and it doesn't feel good, right? And so am I exiling that angry part, and the back to the Teddy story and the anger to my birth mum, that I talked about, that 20 seconds of anger, if that, to her. And then there's the other pain. What are the pains what are the pains we're trying to numb? Have I been trying to numb the kind of the upset stuff? You're trying to, no, not I'm not upset, and say to other people, no, I'm not upset. They didn't upset me. And then inside you, crying your little heart out, right? And it's that feeling, maybe the upset and the grief are one in the same, and we're concerned that will engulf us, right? We're afraid of drowning in our tears, drowning. People talk about drowning their sorrow, don't they? Having a drink to drown your sorrow, drown your sorrow. But I think we're and some people obviously we do that. There's a lot of adoptees who are alcoholics. It's more prevalent. It's more prevalent in in alcoholics. Sorry, alcoholism is more prevalent in adoptees than it is in people that weren't adopted. That I think there's a word for them called kept kids, kept children. That's the opposite of adoptees. It's funny how you pick up all these little words and terminology. And did a great interview with a fantastic adoptee called Pamela Karanova about her, her facing her demons. So she had a long relationship with alcohol. I can't remember how long she talks about it, but it was long. And she talked about the time, the start of her sobriety, or a big part of her sobriety story, is when she faced her feelings, and instead of trying to numb them, because they're so big, they're so overwhelming, she was trying to numb them through booze, and obviously it was working to some extent for a short time, and then it doesn't work anymore. You get the hangover, and if we try to numb stuff, then it comes back and it's even more powerful, or we think that we need to go off and do the same thing again. So that's how people talk about addiction starting. It needs more and more to have the same numbing effect. So we're afraid of our feelings. That's what it comes down to, I think. We're afraid of our feelings. We're afraid to feel them. We're afraid that they're going to overtake us. We're afraid of how our feelings, when we're being overtaken by our feelings, is going to impact other people. And yeah, I'm doing some work on this at the moment, and it feels there was some tightness across my chest with anger, and it felt like I was lying on the floor with two heavy metal weights, and these metal weights were rising and falling with my in breath and my out breath, and we just felt the feelings, and then did this for a while. I had some help with this with a therapist, and it went after that. A couple of hours after that, I just felt lighter, because I'd been feeling the weight of this anger on my chest pushing me down, holding me back, and you know, it wasn't stopping me breathing, but I don't know whether it had any effect on my breathing. I don't know. It wasn't quite heavy enough, but I'm sure that if it was heavier, then I would have felt basically suffocated by this weight. Yeah, the weight of expectations, the weight of expectations to be okay, the weight of expectations to achieve stuff, the weight of our self expectations, our expectations of ourself to achieve in the world, and my desire to make a difference. And it weighs heavy, right? It weighs heavy. And then it doesn't. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll speak to you again very soon.